Last weekend, I traveled back to my beautiful hometown in the highlands of northern Greece to see family and friends and to announce some exciting news. Now, it's kinda early to share more on YouTube, but feel free to guess what I'm talking about in the comment section below, and I might give you a thumbs up if you guess right. Okay, now back to today's topic. One thing I noticed a lot while catching up with family and friends was how most of them remain completely ignorant on the basics of how to take care of their body. Despite the fact that a lot of them are smart and accomplished people, for some reason, when it comes to health and fitness, it is as if their IQ takes a nosedive off a cliff. And although it saddens me to observe this, if I had to summarize how they are living their life, it is as if they are trying to grow old fast, frail, and fat. So, while arriving on Friday night, one of my best buds called me up and asked me if I was interested in keeping him company the coming day during his morning jog. The next morning, I threw my faithful rings in my backpack, set them up outdoors at one of my favorite spots in town. You've probably seen this in the past. It's the one next by the lake, if you've been watching this channel for a while. And the plan was to get my calisthenics workout in, after which I would run with my friend. My workout consisted of a short and simple yet brutal routine that included pull-up and chest dip Russian ladders, which might not look like a lot on paper, but if you get a screenshot of it and give it a try, even if you do something as simple as push-ups, I promise you that you'll see what I'm talking about. Within 40 minutes, I was done, just in time with my buddy's arrival. And since my shoulders, chest, and arms felt like swollen balloons, I told him I needed at least 5 minutes to walk my swole off, but after that, I was good to go. Now, during our run, he told me all about his running-related injuries that he was struggling with, things such as a stubborn hip flexor strain, some other knee issues, all things I warned him about a couple of months ago when he told me that he decided to prepare for a trail marathon. And after 30 minutes, I told him that this is as far as I go, explaining how I always keep my runs short since my main priority remains functional strength and hypertrophy, especially now with all the upcoming changes I might be facing pretty soon. I told him how I am even more motivated than ever to focus on the things that, keep me strong, that help me have confidence about my body, but also feel that, I can rely on it in any scenario, how having energy for as many things as possible, other than my workouts, is important for me as well, and how I am basically trying to play my cards as best as possible in order to live a long and healthy life during which other people can always rely on me. Now, the more and more I shared about all that, I noticed a bigger and bigger gap between me and my friend, a disconnect, because basically in his mind, cardio was the one and only holy grail of health. Despite the fact that after overdoing it with running the last year, all he was left with was a skinny, fat, and frail body. Fast forward later on that day, I had dinner with an older group of family friends, most of them overweight and between the ages of 50 and 60. While looking at the menu, they talked about how they should limit red meat for health purposes, and the rest of the night I watched them gorge endless slices of white bread, french fries, and all kinds of other fats and carbs, while knocking back liters of red wine as if it was water. Meanwhile, I just sat there and listened while enjoying my big-ass steak with grilled veggies, some rice, and a single glass of red wine I raised up mostly during toasts and barely finished by the end of the night. Somewhere between talking about politics and the upcoming election in the States, I also heard them talk about how almost all of them suffered from some lower back, shoulder, or knee issue and yet did nothing about it. Apparently, once you turn 50, things such as being able to pick something heavy off the floor without grunting, or lifting something heavy over your shoulder without sharp shoulder pain are just things you should embrace as a normal part of aging. Here's the thing, once you turn 30, how you live every minute counts, since every day that you don't take care of yourself, you are basically speeding up decay. At first, you don't notice that much, but if you're closer to 40 than you are to 30, like me, then you are already starting to see this. And if you're over 50, then you are already experiencing it every single day. Of course, I'm not saying that staying in shape as an adult is easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. But one thing is for sure. Although staying in shape is hard, nothing is harder than living out of shape, especially as the years go by. In the end, working on yourself, mastering your urges, and building habits that make you healthier eventually also make you happier and your life a lot more fulfilling. By the way, if you're a busy dad looking to build muscle without joining the gym, if you want to get your diet in order to drop fat and improve your overall health and have all that incorporated in a realistic plan that respects your busy dad lifestyle, then you might be interested in our online coaching program, the Dadbot Demolition Project. So if you're tired of your current situation and you really want to make a change fast, then make sure you fill in the form below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible with more information. We can book a free discovery call and see if you're a good fit for our online coaching program, the Dadbot Demolition Project. So what is the solution? What do you do if starting today you want to aim for a life that is as pain-free as possible, that is full of energy, if you want to feel amazing in your skin, have a body you can trust, and lastly but not leastly, knowing you can be there for other people such as your kids and parents, not only now but also in your 50s, 60s and 70s. Honestly, it's not that complicated, and it only takes less than a handful of habits, which are the same things we help busy dads with in our online coaching program, the Dadbot Demolition Project. Number one is get at least 3 40-minute workouts of quality strength training a week. If you focus on the right exercises and you have a few pieces of equipment, you won't even have to go all the way to the gym. Number two, either it is through cardio or plain good old-fashioned walking. All you have to do is just make sure you're getting enough steps in. Sure, some cardio and high-intensity interval training are great both for your mind and body, and I enjoy them as well, but there is a fine line after which too much of that starts doing more harm than good, especially if you're not sleeping well because of stress or because you are a relatively new dad. It really doesn't take a lot to mess you up, and more often than not, focusing on strength and walking is the better choice. Number two, eat more protein and less processed carbs and fats. Now, I know that people try to make nutrition complicated, but really there are two things that you need to be aware of. Number one, meat is not the real enemy. Nobody ever got fat by binge eating steak and veggies. The way you do get fat is by binge eating highly processed foods that consist mainly of empty calorie fats and carbs. Especially if you strength train, meat becomes a powerhouse for energy, helping your body get stronger while recovering faster. It boosts your metabolism, and it also helps you reach satiety faster than any other food. And lastly, number three, cut down on the booze. Alcohol is nothing other than a toxin. Nothing more, nothing less. Sure, it can be a fun toxin, and I also enjoy the occasional beer or a neat spirit, but if you are averaging more than 2 to 3 drinks a week, once again, all you're doing is just speeding up decay. That was all for today. If you're tired with your current situation, if you want to drop the Dadbot and make a change starting today, make sure you fill in the form below to learn more about our online coaching program, the Dadbot Demolition Project, and I'll be getting back to you as soon as possible. If you have any other questions, leave them below. I always do my best to get back to every single one of you. And until next time, keep on training.